Sweet, we're live. We're on. We're on. Dude, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, of course.
Where are you at right now? You said you had to find a quiet spot.
I'm in my apartment building, and my wife's a little sick, so I had to find a little
Oh,
quieter.
gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha. You're in Chicago, right?
that's right. I am.
Have you
Where are
always
you at?
lived?
What'd you say?
I'm in New York. Have you always been in Chicago?
Uh, yeah, after residency.
Did you grow up there too or no?
No, I'm from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Yep.
How do you like the switch? I mean, Wisconsin, what part of Wisconsin?
So I'm from the middle of nowhere, Wisconsin, Marshfield, Wisconsin, and there's like nobody
I
there. But I do enjoy the switch. I enjoy the city life. But as I've lived here long enough, I've had enough, and I think I want to go somewhere quieter. So I actually wouldn't mind moving back to Wisconsin.
Seriously? Really?
Yeah, yeah, man. I'm kind of, it's a little bit too hectic. Like I feel like work is pretty busy, and I got to come home and deal with all these different people, and I just feel like having some peace and quiet and not have to worry about people around me is, peace of mind.
Oh, I'm totally into that. I know exactly what you mean. New York City is a lot of hustle and bustle and I heard Chicago's getting a little bit more dangerous. I don't know what part, like what area you're in. Are you noticing that at all?
Yeah, so I'm kind of in between a bad area and the more metropolitan areas, but yeah, I've definitely noticed it, even though it's always been here. But every time I would visit, it wasn't that bad. But after being here pretty much 24/7, uh, you definitely run into more instances, and yeah, it's not worth it for me. I want to go somewhere a little quieter.
Yeah. Oh, I hear you. I hear you. I was just
New
talking
York
with.
is getting pretty bad, isn't it?
It is. It is, and the hospitals are getting pretty busy. I mean, oh my God, this last month, October, even the last 2 weeks, it's just getting so many patients getting
Yeah,
admitted for. I mean, it's so many different things. A lot of fractures coming in now. Um,
fractures. Yeah, in Chicago, it's gunshot wounds. My friend, he's in OMFS at the hospital here, and he says, yeah, that's pretty much all we see is fixing gunshot wounds. It's pretty wild, and I can definitely see why.
Yeah. Oh yeah. A lot of stabs and slashing, I would say, in Manhattan versus, the gunshots. But oh, it's been crazy. How is that transition going to be then? So you're doing peri right now. You're in private practice, DSO?
Yeah, well, I'm not a DSO. It's a large group private practice.
Large group private practice, not a DSO.
Yeah.
Nice. How is that gonna work for you? Oh, I meant to ask, you said you live with your wife, she's a little sick right now. What's her
Yeah.
thoughts as far as the area moving back to Wisconsin? Is she from Wisconsin as well?
No, she's from China, but she's pretty much been here a good decent portion of her life, so she's pretty acclimated. But she really likes the city life. I'll tell you that, and I don't
Mm,
mind it. But as a as a provider and potentially soon to be a father, you got to think about other things. So I'm more in like protective mode and trying to keep what's
100%.
in mind. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
that in that aspect. Yeah, Chicago's fun going out and trying all the different foods. That's all great, but you know, I feel like the line has been crossed where I have to be more protective of what's mine. So that's why I feel like moving out somewhere quieter and a little bit safer, easy to predict.
Yeah, of course. Of
Yeah.
course. You think you'll open your own practice, buy into something? What are your thoughts? If you can reveal, of course. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I really enjoy the practice that I'm in right now, so I don't really have plans to open my own practice, but that's always on my mind, and things are going really well in our practice. I thought about this a lot too. There's always pros and cons, and everybody talks about the pros of opening their private practice. There's obviously cons, and you're not. I mean, we can go into it if you want.
There's so much. Yeah, I know.
a lot. It's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, it's a loaded question. I know, I know.
Yeah.
So we just recently we were talking. You were saying kind of like taking a step back from social media. What about you? And I get that. I get that. There's a lot going on. I still think I'm kind of molded. But what about music producing, man?
I still do it. And I
Yeah.
actually DJ and music produce with an oral surgeon. I think I told you that.
You did tell me that.
Yeah.
When? Where is it? I saw the studio. Love that. Pretty sweet. Do you go to clubs? Do you go to places, venues?
Yeah. So um, we are a music group and they tend to do more of the DJing outside in the clubs and everything. Uh, I have been I've been a little bit busy, so I haven't really been doing that much. And I've been, working on music here and there, whenever I feel like relaxing and getting creative, just to free the mind a little bit. But yeah, we all enjoy DJing in Chicago, and it's just a really fun pastime. And um, yeah, I think we're all really naturally talented, and it just comes easy to us.
That's awesome. Oh my God. And I had a gap year in between college and dental school and I did some music producing as well. Now, so that's why what I want to ask you is how do you find the time for that on top of you're a husband now. You're a periodontist in practice. Where's the time for this? I'm sure during dental school and residency it was very difficult to find time, right? How do you do it now though?
Right. So
Because I want to do it again one day, but
yeah,
there's no time right now. There was none in dental,
you produce music?
Yeah. It's one of my favorite things to do. But dude, like you know how it is. You start making a song. Next thing you know, you look up from the computer, and it's 8 hours later, and it's like you can't. You need a day, like you need a block of time of at least 3, 4, 10 hours, maybe. You need
Yeah.
a day.
Yeah. Uh, Dude, that first of all, I want to say that's awesome, man. I didn't know that, and I would love to share music with each other and work on stuff together. Um,
Yeah, man.
so in dental school and in residency, I did make music, but it was really on and off, and I found that whenever I studied really hard and I passed an exam or I had this long drought without making music, I just feel extra creative, so the music comes out real fast. And it does. You're right; it does take hours. So I would do it as kind of like a reward and kind of a release after I've studied for hours. You know how that is, and you don't really get to do anything fun. And in terms of time management, um, I guess I would do it after every major round of exams or on vacation, and that's when I had time. But
Mm.
if I'm doing it, if I really need to and I have like an idea, I'll just do it real quick. At the end of the day, after all my work is done, I think that's the most important thing. Making
Yeah.
sure all your work is done and you do it more of a relaxation thing. Um, but if you really wanted to pursue music, it would certainly require a lot more dedication, a lot more time. So main profession.
100%. I'm worried that it's going to be a long time before I get back to it again. I mean, I'm still working some weekends, so it's like work 5 to 6 days a week. Still, it's residency, so obviously it's going to be after residency. But then trying to think now, how can you like mold your job around allowing you to still have time for those passions, or to gain the time back that you
Right.
need for the passions? Like, is it going to be a 4 day work week? I don't know what it's going to be. That's kind of what I'm thinking, but
Yeah.
does it work?
I,
I
w-
don't know.
I would say now in the real world where I don't have to study all the time, that's the one thing I like about my practice too is I can come back and shut off my brain and just
Mhm.
do what I like doing. And that's one of the pros of doing what I'm doing now versus opening a private practice because once you open a business, I hear that you're pretty much thinking about it 24/7. There's not really an off switch. So at least that's what I hear. I don't know. But when if I want to make music now, I have a lot more free time and capability of doing it. So I think in terms of that regard, once you get out, it should be pretty smooth sailing. You can do whatever you want when you're out.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't really, honestly, I don't really have. have that much drive now. I think my desires are geared towards something else, other things more so than music. It's more of when I really feel like letting go of some stress and just getting creative. And I don't know about you, but when I make music, everything kind of just like goes to the side, and I can just focus on that. It helps you disconnect from everything else
Yes.
in the world for just for a brief second. And that's what it's like when it's DJing. When you're out there, you're in the moment, and everything else that you had on your mind just disappears for a second. It's one of
Yes.
the feelings, and I think that's why a lot of people pursue music, especially in our profession. I feel like music is such a gateway to um, escaping reality for a second and just feeling the euphoria and all the great feelings from it. I think it's key to surviving something like residency, especially at your level, having something to escape and um, just relax if you can. No,
Right.
I think you got to
Right.
reset your brain somehow in order to keep going. I think that's
Always.
one of the major keys to succeeding. You can't work hard for 24/7 and not take a break.
That's right.
Yep.
It's so crucial to have that escape, and it's such an organic way of escapism. It's a good point. I on some interview, this is going back a few years, but a lot of, like you said, in this profession, doctors, dentists, we all have, a lot of us have a music side, that I found out. One of the things I like to tell people is on my resume, I had, that I did research in dental school. I also put on there that I played the violin on the side, which has been very hard to do during residency. But more people ask me about the violin rather than the research, and I think it's a pretty cool way to connect with someone. Talking about music, how they do it, how they fit in their schedule, what kind of music they like to get into. A lot of people, they play the piano, they play the different guitars. Um, it's such a cool part of escapism. Yeah, yeah, man.
I, I
Well,
think hobbies certainly tell a lot about an individual. You can have everything great on paper, but if you have a lot of interests outside, it makes you more interesting. And I think that's what program directors are looking for, and job interviewers, they want to see a well-rounded individual.
yeah, yeah, man. So you said you're kind of focusing on other things right now. What are some of those things? Is it all work related or?
Um, Not really work, just personal, financial things, and um, yeah, just growing in general. I think that really occupies a lot of my time, and uh, I think I value connection with people more now more than ever. So I
Mm,
spend a lot of my time hanging out with my close group of friends. Um, that's what I've been doing more, and it, I think that's just been my kind of downtime and escape from reality. Just hanging out with some people that I find really valuable in my life.
oh yeah, oh yeah. What does your work week look like? Do you work weekends?
Um, so I work probably 3 Saturdays, half days in a month, and I work Monday through Thursday.
So off Friday and then 3 half Saturdays. Okay,
Yeah,
so 4.5 days a week in general, probably,
pretty
right?
much. Yeah,
How do you
yeah,
like that Monday and then you're off Friday?
yeah. I'm off Friday. That's correct.
How do you like that?
I enjoy it. It's I would want to work a little bit more, but I I do by the end of the week I'm pretty burnt out, to be honest. If the week
Yeah,
is real busy, which most of the time it is, um, but I enjoy it. I enjoy having Fridays off. I don't mind working Saturdays, to be honest. My mind's always going between things, and I'm always keeping my mind occupied. So having a Saturday that's busy isn't that bad. But
yeah, yeah,
uh, having Fridays off, they're having a weekday off is really nice, just because you can get a lot done when there's less people around. And
yeah.
in terms of efficiency, trying to move around the city, or, in the morning or in the evening, it takes too much time. I'm sure you definitely know all about that in New York.
Yeah, yeah, it can get very busy out there. What are your days? 8 to 5, 9 to 5, 9 to 6?
So it's from 8:30 to about 4.
Not bad, not bad. But those days get busy, right? And then sometimes you got to go past 4. I know how it goes.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, I mean, yeah, it's not bad. I think it's enough, especially for my staff. You know, it's hard to go longer than that, and I totally understand. But you guys are a little bit different, though. You guys
With
push,
residency, it's a different animal. It's
yeah.
a different
In
animal.
private practice, you guys kind of push the hours a little bit, don't you?
They do, they do. I worked at a practice, just assisting. That's going back 5, no, maybe even more, maybe like 7, 8 years now before dental school. And yeah, they would work 8 to 6 most
Yeah,
days of the week, 8 to 5 on Friday. No, 8 to 6 on Fridays too. Um, and they also did the half day on Saturday as well. Yeah,
nice.
yeah, that's
You guys get those emergencies. You just gotta see them. So no way around that. You guys get some
right.
stuff.
I'm wondering, like, so to be a board certified periodontist, what are some? You obviously have to pass like the board exam. Are there any other, you know, things on the side that are required? I know in oral surgery, I think they want you to have hospital access to handle bigger cases and whatnot.
Mhm.
In order to be a board certified oral surgeon, are there any perks like that you need to have to be a board certified periodontist?
Um, no, it's really a matter of passing that exam and getting certified by the high level peers in your community. These guys are all very smart and they really test you and make sure you know everything. So, I mean, we are IB certified as well, and we have to have a certain amount of cases, and we also have hospital experience, but that's not a requirement. Like,
Hmm.
but they can ask you about sedation if they wanted to, and obviously you have to know your stuff. So part of my preparation for boards, I did prepare very well for that. But the boards essentially they want to make sure you can provide clinical excellence without any hesitation and be able to support all your treatment plans and have a good reasoning behind everything. So I think it's a very thorough exam and it's a very fair exam.
Hmm.
Um, I don't really think there's too much more that they can require. I mean, you can always ask cases, and that's what they used to do in the past. But I think the oral exam is a good test as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you're doing IV sedations, like or do you have to have like a dental anesthesiologist there?
So
How does that
we,
work?
um, I actually haven't done any sedation cases since I've been out, just because my my days have been super busy, and
Mm.
it's really packed with either surgeries or consults, and so I even find a lot of times that patients don't really need sedation that much, in my opinion, and what we do. I know for all surgeons it's a little bit different. Certain people will certainly need IV sedation for that, but for us, I feel like a lot of rapport can be built and really relax the patient and
Mm.
kind of avoid that. And it also makes things a little bit quicker, in my opinion, uh, getting work done. But there are certainly cases that I've run into that I send to our dental anesthesiologist slash periodontist. He's both certified and or we just hire a dental anesthesiologist. But
Gotcha. Yeah.
yeah, um, I would say most of my cases they're not super long. I mean, uh, I don't really need to have that long of a sedation if I need it. Uh, you know, nitrous or even oral sedation is fine, but
Right.
having much IV sedation.
It's funny you mention that. There is an oral surgeon in Manhattan, a little bit downtown, who I heard of doesn't do sedations. apparently what he said is that it slows him down, which is an interesting thought because it's like, huh, that's one of the perks of oral surgery, right? But then
Yeah,
he says it slows him down with the wisdom teeth cases. So I hear you. That it's such an interesting strategy, you know?
yeah. So, you got prep time beforehand, uh, and then you've got to make sure the patient's stable afterwards, and that takes time. And I know there's, I know how you guys do it. It's a very efficient manner. You guys are able to monitor everything properly. The the difference with us is we don't have uh, nurses, certified nurses doing it. So we don't have that privilege. But so we do a lot of it on our own, right? I think it's a little different in terms of that. But I I'm packed with surgery, and if I'm not seeing a surgeon, I'm doing a consult. So
Mm.
it doesn't time wise, it doesn't make much sense to me because then you have to spend extra time caring for the patient afterwards and all this stuff, and you got to put the IV in, even though that doesn't take very long. But I've talked to a lot of periodontists as well, and they've also steered away from surgery just because it just takes too much time to do everything.
Mm.
And for our clinic, I just look at my associates, and we're all super packed with surgeries. So
Yeah.
it's I don't think it makes much sense for us unless we hire a dental anesthesiologist.
Right, right. Of your cases, what are kind of like your favorite? What are your favorite cases to do? What do you look forward to doing?
Honestly, man, I love perio surgery. I, as much as implants are a big part of my practice, I let's see here. I like when I do perio surgery. I find it the most relaxing, like soft tissue, osseous, that kind of thing. For some reason, it relaxes me. Implants also relax me, but implants you always have to worry about the nerve. You got to worry about um, just different aspects that are different from osseous and soft tissue. Soft tissue, sometimes run into the nerve, mental frame, and stuff like that. But implants, like I had a case the other day. It was probably my hardest case, just because the bone was super hard and it was a second molar, and we already CBCT showed 10 millimeters of space from the nerve, so probably pushing an 8 millimeter implant. Our bone graft was pretty good, and that drilled fine. But then once I got to native bone, it was really hard, and I even using a precision drill, it barely went through that. So you know,
Really?
yeah, it barely cut through it. I just made a nick in it pretty
What
much, and then
implant system? Nobel or
Straumann.
Strom? Gotcha. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So then I used um, uh, the drill sequence, and I probably got a little bit more engagement, and then it finally went in with primary stability. And yeah, we were good distance from the nerve, but that yeah, in those kind of cases, you're always kind of on edge, and you always make sure you can't relax really in those until it's done, pretty much. And then I called
Absolutely.
the patient, and the patient was fine. Actually, the patient reached out to me and wanted to tell me everything was fine just because I gave him a heads up. It was kind of a difficult case, and
Mm.
it was very nice. But yeah, yeah, I usually follow up with the patients afterwards. Highly recommend that. Make sure everything's okay. Yeah, it
All
was
that dense bone. It's like you gotta hope there better be primary stability after all that, right?
yeah, and I know I wasn't hitting the concavity there either, and I wasn't hitting the cortical bone there because I checked on the CBCT. There wasn't any concavity. I checked with a PA the distance to the nerve, and I was certainly not close to the nerve. I was like 4 millimeters at a time, and I just did not feel that thing going in. So I couldn't figure out why. Maybe the drill's starting to get a little dull, but even then, the precision drill, it should pierce through it pretty easily. So
It
yeah,
should. What RPMs were you at?
I mean the standard RPMs.
Yeah,
Uh,
and they just 800, 1200.
yeah,
Yeah.
so that yeah, that was just because of the dense bone, probably one of the tougher cases. But yeah, I really enjoy implants, and I take real pride and I love when I do it and you just see the X-ray afterwards and you see the position of the implant, it's just perfect. I think that's what I find really fulfilling, and I'm sure the dentist enjoys that as well. Um, so I really enjoy that aspect. But in terms of procedures that I like, soft tissue and osseous and perineal surgery, I think that's it's pretty great. I love seeing the how far you can push saving teeth.
Mm.
You know, I love seeing patients come back after periodontal surgery is done, and 80 years down the road, 50 years down the road, their gum status hasn't changed. And I see that often. I see people coming for maintenance and they're just so happy to keep their teeth, even though they were heading down a pretty bad path, all questionable, and they still
Yeah.
able to hold onto their teeth. It's pretty wonderful to me to see how far we can push, the health of those teeth, even though they may not last without treatment.
Right. Actually, I'm glad to have you on. This is something really cool. So this is a company. I mean, this is not like a promotion for them or anything, but I just met with someone who does. It's called Kerasis, and this is so interesting because they use like fish material. Like they have like a fishery that's from Iceland. They have fish, and what they were designed for is to have burn patients, and it kind of accelerates the healing of the superficial layers of the tissue for burn patients. But they were asking us, how would this apply in oral surgery, right, in the hospital for you? Because they're working with plastics, they're working with ENT, they're working with other services. And the biggest thing I thought of, because we're not doing burn patients, in our program and stuff. We're doing, this would be good for intraoral, maybe for flaps, maybe for, mandibulectomies and stuff. But I was thinking for dentistry, this could potentially be huge in perio with gingivectomies. And then maybe if there's gingival recession on some teeth, I really felt that this company would be big for you guys.
Yeah. You should shoot me a text with the name on it. I'll look it up.
Absolutely. I'll take a picture and send it to you. But I don't know if there's any research been done. I don't think they've crossed over as much into dentistry when they've been primarily with burn patients. I don't know. It sounded really cool, and I'm so glad to have you on because now I could actually forward the information your way. I'm pretty curious to see how that would work. And then would that work with kind of like osseous procedures, like bone grafting, using this as like a membrane, but it's a natural membrane? Would it work? I don't know. So I don't know. I think crossovers with that, I think is always really cool. It's just, I'm glad I remembered about that. It just came to my mind.
Yeah, that's pretty much most of the stuff that we do in dentistry, right? It's all crossed over from orthopedics and other aspects of medicine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, dentistry used to be a subspecialty in medicine, so a lot of it makes sense. But there was other things that I was seeing in plastic surgery that could be implemented in at least my field, but I would have to do a little bit more research into it, which is something I need to get on. But yeah. I would love to see that and see the application for it.
Yeah, I'll forward that your way. Yeah, there's so much. We need more time in the day. We need like 40 hours rather than 24.
You guys are pretty much running 40 hours.
Done a few of those. I would not recommend it, but
gotta be filling though, right? It's gotta be after you finish some long surgeries and save a patient's life, it's gotta be a great feeling. I feel like those hours would go by pretty quick, especially if someone's life was on the table.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Some of the cancer procedures that we do here at this program it's crazy. It's and then sometimes patients don't make. I mean, they make it through the operation, but then you find out a month and a half later, it's like they passed away because the cancer was so extensive and it metastasized to other parts of the body. I don't know. It's a different type of emotional experience that I don't know. Even more than that was the Mickey rotation, the medical ICU. That's definitely an emotional experience. Yeah. It's how residency goes. Paris 3 years. Thank God I'm only in the 4-year track. Could you imagine doing 6 more years?
I couldn't.
after dental school?
There was a time that I highly considered it, and I thought to myself, I wouldn't mind that much. But then I realized later on that I'm glad I didn't choose that route. uh, yeah,
You
I
went right
think
into perio, or you did GPR like a year and then
I went right into perio.
that's the way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, work-life balance has become a lot more important than before. I used to, didn't mind working all the time, but now I think spending time with people is probably some of the most important things. You know?
I agree. I
Yeah,
agree. That's why I like doing the podcasting too, because this is like we've never met in person, but now this is like close, you know?
yeah. I mean, we follow each other on Instagram, and we're all connected in some aspect that way. You
Yeah,
you,
for
you do
a
feel
few
part
years now.
of social media, and you kind of keep updated with everybody.
For a few years now, yeah. We've been connected for a few years on Instagram. Speaking of, I gotta get do you have any if you have any pictures, let me put you up on Elite Dentist soon.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I got some pictures with my dog. That's the most
Oh yeah?
important. Yeah.
In scrubs in a white coat maybe?
No, I I don't do that anymore ever since I gotten out.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear
Yeah.
you.
But I mean, yeah, we still wear scrubs in uh, our practice, but when I'm out, I don't really rock them anymore.
I hear you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What kind of dog do you have?
I have a Maltipoo. Yeah, he's about 10 pounds. He's 8 months old right now.
Oh
So
my gosh! Wait, that's so 10
yeah,
pounds. That's like this big.
that's when we first got him.
Oh my goodness. He, she,
He
he's
and
adorable.
yeah, I know. He's
What's his name?
Simba.
Sim. Oh, perfect. That's the perfect name.
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah,
that's adorable.
brave. He likes playing with bigger dogs, and I don't think he realizes how much bigger they are compared to him. He'll just yeah. But then some days he'll be real submissive and lay on his back, but most of the days he just goes and attacks their faces without any consequences. That's
how
why I
how
named him.
you said about 8 months old, so he's still gonna grow a bit, right?
Uh,
No.
the the person, the house that we got him from, they said he's supposed to be about 8 pounds. So he's
Oh,
yeah, and he's not even an adult yet.
he's all there.
Yeah,
That's always cute when the puppies are playing with older dogs and they kind of just get pummeled and they don't even care and they just keep going.
yeah, yeah. I think some dogs have a sense of how their size, but I don't think he does. I think uh,
Not yet. Not yet. Oh, that's cute. That's cute. I might have to get a puppy soon. It's
have
tough in
a dog
having a.
or a
No, I
cat.
don't have a dog. I had a dog. She passed away 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago now. That was back home, with my parents. Not for me in dental school. There was no time for that. But it's tough. You have a house or an apartment?
So we just purchased a house. We just finished building the house, so we're about to move.
Oh, amazing. Okay,
Yeah,
so your dog's gonna have a little more space. I feel like in an apartment it can be tough.
yeah, yeah. It'll be nice to have some yard and extra room. I've been living like a college student until now, so um, I'm super I'm super excited to have some space finally.
Oh, I can't imagine. I grew up in a house. Did you grew up in a house, right? And it
Yeah,
was yeah. So you're used to having that more space, the yard, maybe a basketball hoop out back, right?
right, right, yeah.
Ah,
But when I moved to the city, I didn't mind having that much space. I just rather spend time outside in the city. But
mm.
now that I'm not going out as much, I definitely value how big the house is now. Gotta make sure you have enough room for everything, family stuff like that.
Yeah, maybe a music studio.
Yeah, yeah. So we're I want to do like an office/music studio. If not, I'll probably part of my basement will be dedicated to music and stuff.
Oh, that's gonna be great.
Yeah, yeah. I'm really excited. have a
And then
little
you don't
home.
have to like plan out studio sessions. You could just go home, go downstairs, and plug in.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be nice. The only hard part is getting all the members to come out to me, 'cause I'm about 45 minutes from the city. But
Oh,
I enjoy going to the city in Chicago. The studio in Chicago, I mean, where all all the members are. They're all super talented. It's just fun hanging out with them.
yeah. 45 minutes. And you work in the city area?
Now, I drive to a lot of separate offices, so it's all the same practice. But we have offices every day. I drive about an hour to 2 hours.
An hour to 2 hours.
Yeah, that's that's the that's the one of the cons of working in a city is you got to kind of, um, I
That's a
guess,
lot of commute time, man. That's 3 to 4 hours a day just in the car.
yeah. So one way max is probably like an hour 30 now from my home. So yeah, it's a lot of driving, but I do a lot. I mean, I don't mind it right now. Maybe when I have a family and I want to see my kids more, but I do a lot of research, learn a lot of things on the road. So it's listen to a lot of podcasts. So it's not that bad. I mean, it's not a complete waste of time. It
Give me your
is
number one podcast.
my number one podcast. Uh, um,
All right, top three. Top three. Top three.
so I enjoy a lot. I mean, I enjoy for financial stuff. Bill Gunderson talks about the market. I like his analysis. Um,
Bill
I
Gunderson,
like,
okay.
I mean, just for just for fun, I like Joe Rogan, but that might be controversial to some people. Uh,
I've heard.
yeah. Let's see.
Did you
I mean,
did you listen to the Elon Musk episode the other day?
I watched clips of it. I like PBD as well.
PBD.
Yeah, it's
I haven't heard that one.
oops.
That's some good stuff. I always like. I love listening to podcasts too. I'm big into. I like to listen to Gary Vee. I do like Joe Rogan's podcast. It's fun to kind of point out like I don't know about that. The controversial things. But it's also cool to see his flow of like he's a pretty good conversationalist. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
Um, and then in that episode the other day, so Elon Musk came in his Cybertruck, and then it's like a compound bow or something that
yeah. He
Joe
found it
Rogan
low.
shot. Yeah,
Just leave it
left a
kind of.
dent in the side of the like. I want to watch that. I love that stuff. I think it's so funny.
Yeah, that it didn't break through the Tesla, so I'm still convinced about getting one.
You're gonna get a Cybertruck,
Yeah, I
or
think.
like,
Yeah, I want to get a Cybertruck. I haven't put an order in for it, but
oh, you got to do it. I totally am gonna get one day. I
you're gonna
think
get one.
dude, it's a bulletproof car. I mean, like,
Yeah,
hopefully you never need it.
except for the window. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's gonna be revolutionary just because there hasn't been that many cars with such a radical appearance. I think it's
Right.
going to be very popular, and a lot of people who think it's ugly are just aren't accustomed to the way it looks. And I think when they see it in person and they just see the presence of it, I think a lot of people are going to be on board. I don't know.
I agree. I agree with that. It's gonna be interesting to see. I definitely want to get one. That's gonna be so cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to find this podcast.
So PBD. What do you know what does PBD stand for?
I'm blanking on the name right now. Just-
That's all good. I'll definitely check it out later.
yeah, so yeah, Patrick Bet David, that's his name. That's right. Patrick Bet David podcast. So,
Oh, Patrick Bet David. Okay. And what's
yeah,
what's that about? So you listen to the market on the Bill Gunderson?
yeah, but I watch a lot of crypto stuff too, so there's a lot of I'm just all over the place. I have like a list of stuff that I watch daily too. Um, so yeah, I mean the financial stuff that I watch, I get opinions from a lot of people. Another good one, I think, but he's like always bearish, just because he leans more red. But it's
In crypto or in the stock market?
stock market, and I think last year he claims to have made really good calls in crypto, um, but this year it's been really off.
Mm.
And again, it's clear value text.
So you're big on crypto. What about stocks? Is it 50-50? Do you like one more than the other?
during the during the bear market, my biggest gainer was in the stock market, and that's where you should have been putting your money. But now it's flipping to crypto, so I'm really into crypto right now. Uh, I none of what I say is financial advice, but I did post some calls on what I thought the market was going to do, and since the bottom, it's been pretty accurate. Not to brag or nothing, but um, back when it was like 25,000, I
Mm-hmm.
said I'm going to start DCAing in, and now it's up to 35. And I did call. I said 35 is the next major resistance, and it's been stuck around 35.
That's 100% true. It has been big
Don't let
resistance. Big into crypto too. I love
Mark.
Bitcoin. Dogecoin fan. Yep. Those are
Yeah,
my two.
I don't know if you've been watching my post about it, but surprisingly, only reason why I started posting about it is because a lot of people reached out to me like, "Hey, man, we appreciate what you're doing. It'd be awesome if you keep doing it." So I just did it for some of the people on my page.
That's what I
I'm
was
not.
about to say. You got to post more about it, man.
I'm very much an amateur, but I have a good idea now after hours of research every day in the car, um, about how things are going. I mean, I talked to my dad, who's also big into it too, and we
Your dad's big in crypto?
no, stop. He's old school, but
Oh,
he says stock market's a waste of time, which I tend to agree with. But if I think now was it, when during the bear market, it was a good time to buy in. But in general, you can just uh, what's it called? Uh, you can just you can do other things with your time. You gotta.
yeah.
It's a lot. It gets pretty complicated unless you're a professional trader or you're in it all the time. It's not really a good move for most people.
Right. I think it's the long term trend of going up that you got. It requires a lot of patience. A lot of timing, a lot of patience, and
Yeah,
ultimately saving up and investing when things are down, like you said.
yeah. So yeah, we definitely got to talk crypto. Maybe off the podcast, but yeah, I think
Yeah.
I I think this next bull run is going to be massive.
Do you think Bitcoin's going to pop down at all anymore?
So if it breaks the trend line, yeah, it can go down. But people are in it right now and they're not selling, which is a very bullish sign. The trend line is still going up. Um, Unless there's a black swan, I don't really see it going down. Unless the recession is officially announced, which usually it's lagging the next year. But if it's officially announced and that somehow scares people, I don't think it will scare crypto investors at this point because everybody's anticipating for a pump. I think
I
everybody's
agree.
waiting for that the last halving event, and I think yeah, I mean there's a lot of different things that can potentially bring it down, but I don't see it going back down that much.
No, not to 15. I don't think we're going to ever see 15 ever again. What do you think?
Yeah, there could be another black swan. I think maybe if Tether went down, you can probably see it below 15.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, I'll always invest what you're willing to lose. I never have all my money in it, and I do think I'm going to be transferring a lot of my funds from equities market into crypto and just ride the wave. But I keep an eye on it every day. I don't think most people do that. Um, I made a, I mean, I made a couple of decent trades, but I wouldn't recommend doing that. I would probably just DCA in.
Mm.
Um, but I'm also a little bit of a gambler, so got a little bit of that blood in me. I like I like getting into degenerate stuff. Yeah, I I don't think I've told you this, but I do really see a market for crypto gaming. I think that is going to be huge.
Crypto gaming.
And nobody really knows about it. I think if the narrative plays out how it is, I think it's the next big Bitcoin opportunity. Back in 2010 when Bitcoin just first came out, I think this is that our lifetime's opportunity if it goes through. But I could be full of shit. But
No. I agree with you. I think that could be huge. I'd be interested to see how. Are you feeling like? Are you into NFTs at all?
yeah, so that's part of it, NFT gaming. But I do think the NFT aspect won't be as popular as the actual crypto gaming itself. Because the thing about NFTs is there's not really much substance behind them. It's just the value of the perceived value of the holder or the people who want to buy it, right? That's what drives the value. But crypto gaming in itself is the game that creates money. And so that gives a lot of opportunity for people to buy it. So I think crypto gaming will be huge. There's a there's a lot of triple A game studios who are investing in it, and there is some movement. Like Dr. Disrespect's game will have some crypto aspect to it. I think that's his game might be the next big trend in terms of gaming, and I think that in cooperation with AI and just the way the market's pumping, those crypto games that I've been in have survived the bear market so far, and they've pumped double since the bottom. So I think there's a lot of only double, and the
Oh, that's good. That's good stuff. That means really big things for the future. Yeah. And I do think the utility of the NFT combined with crypto gaming, I think there's going to be things that when you own the skin and can rent it out to other people that need it for a level or for, I
yeah
don't know, the opportunity. You're right.
the why I think has a lot of potential in our day and age now is you see it now. I mean, people play Counter Strike and they spend tens of thousands of dollars on gun skins, and now that you actually have a system where you can make money by playing the game and earning those, like I think that will be huge. But this is all skeptical, and I don't recommend investing in stuff that you can't lose. But in my opinion, I see a future in that. But
I do
we'll see.
too.
Only time will tell. I mean, it hasn't really steered me wrong yet. It's still there, so we'll see. We definitely got to talk about it eventually.
We do. We do. Are you familiar with Pat the dentist?
Yeah. He's big into crypto. I haven't talked to him that much though.
We should, if we could do like a three-way Riverside, like the podcast, that would be cool if we could get deep into crypto gaming. That would be an interesting talk, I think.
Yeah. I do think so. Although I don't know how many dental people will be that into it. I feel like most of the people,
Surprised.
yeah,
You'd be surprised. You
I
talk to
feel like,
people and you find out, wait, you have Bitcoin? Really? You? Yeah.
yeah,
I've been surprised so far. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I can see it. I
The
mean, this
cool
would be,
thing is I love connecting with dentists and talking about non-dental stuff. I think that's so much, I think that's so fun. And then you get to learn more about each other. And then people that listen in get to learn about us too through that. I think it's just like what you said. It's building relationships. It's connecting with other people, forming friendships, networking. Um, it's exactly what you said. I think that's a cool part. That would be really cool to get deep into that stuff. And now the next thing would be, what can we come up with over I mean, this is not going to be an overnight thing. It's patience, but how can we combine crypto, NFTs, and dentistry, right?
right. I mean, a podcast will certainly explore those avenues, but yeah, we'll have to talk about it once the bull market goes over because we're talking about it before and it doesn't work out. Looks a little bit foolish, but I'm willing to lose the money. I don't really care that much. Yeah.
Yeah, we'd have to come up with something that at least foundational. It looks like it has potential. It would take a while. We got to start with an idea, brainstorming. Yeah. We'll talk about it. We'll talk. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah, absolutely. there's now that I think about it, there's actually quite a few dentists that have at least dabbled in a little bit in crypto, and I've talked to them. We have a pretty good group chat, full of attorneys, um, just random people who are into crypto. People who have made it, all people who have had experience and made money from crypto, and I think it's pretty great to see uh, what everybody's thoughts are. Um, Although it's like died down, obviously because of the bear market, but I think once things start picking up, people will be talking about it more.
Oh yeah.
I have a friend who made six figures last year on one trade. So
Really?
yeah, it's definitely doable. Um, so yeah, he got me into. He's the one pretty much who helped me explore it. So I've been in it for about a year now. Unfortunately, I got in at the very top, and I learned my lesson. But I didn't go all in because I had a feeling. So I've been playing it pretty safe. But now that I've seen the market cycle basically from top to bottom, I have a much better idea now where we are. Since the bottom, I've been fortunate enough to be positive. Uh, yeah,
It wasn't
well,
Solana, was it?
I did have a decent amount of Solana, maybe 10% of my total amount. I did lose out on that, but I'm in Solana again now, and I'm up 10%. So since I bought it, which is pretty decent return. I'm only in it because the hype behind Solana is growing, and the utility of Solana was there, and there's NFTs being built on it. So I think having that combination is worth putting a little bit of risk in, and plus the um, I forgot what trend line I was looking at, but basically it was showing it was a good time to buy, which it was that and what other ones was it? It was but basically I bought two crypto based on that trend line.
Mm. Solana. I can't believe how much Solana had gone up and then came right back down.
Yeah, Cardano is the other one that's up, but
Cardano ADA. Mm-hmm.
I don't
I got
like Cardano.
Cardano too. No, you don't like it?
Nope,
Isn't it like number 7 or
it's one of the
9?
top ones. I don't like it that much.
Why?
Well, in general, I think a lot of these cryptos, um, even the mainstream altcoins, are probably going to disappear. The the only thing I really believe in is that crypto gaming. Everything else, crypto. The way I invest is it's based on hype and it's based on market trends and it's based on um, some utility. It's got to have some utility and it's got to have some people who are shilling it on the internet for people.
Yeah.
Because if nobody knows about it, no one's going to buy it. So
Gotcha.
I'm only in crypto to make money, and a lot of the crypto I don't really believe in terms
Mm.
of real world utility, except crypto game at this point. Um, so yeah, it's uh, it's a tricky game for sure. I like Avalanche, um, Chainlink,
Avalanche. I gotta look.
Israel. So yeah, I think a lot of people got wrecked by Solana, but my friend pulled out right before the crash happened, and I was going.
No,
He pulled out right before, and I was going.
really?
Yeah,
That's the guy that you were talking about that made the 6 figures on one trade,
yeah,
and he was able to pull out before it crashed. Wow.
yeah. A lot of my
How does
friends.
this guy know this stuff?
He's very smart. A lot of my friends are very smart in crypto, and I have a friend who just buys Bitcoin, and he was right. I mean, just buying Bitcoin, he's fine, and he doesn't believe in any of the altcoins. But I'm only in it a year, so I'm still kind of experimenting. But luckily, I haven't lost anything.
Mm. Yeah, I'm somewhat new too. Last year or two. Yeah. No, I've been trying to learn a lot and just I did like oh shoot, what was it? It was a 4 letter word, started with an A, I think. The guy started it, like the MIT guy that won the Turing Award started it. I forget it right now, but I don't know, it just wasn't going anywhere. They used to give a 6% dividend, basically, whatever it was, and then they got rid of that. And I'm like, I don't know, I don't see
I
this.
think that paybacks
What was it?
Avalanche Avex. I think you're talking about Avex.
No, it wasn't Avalanche. It was, shoot, I forget it now. I haven't looked at it in a while. I just put it all into Dogecoin and Bitcoin.
One of my friends, he was up six figures, but he lost it on Doge. Yeah. But six figures is not a lot in crypto, especially if you've only if you only go in with like 10,000
Yeah.
figures is not a lot.
The fluctuations are too much. They
Yeah,
are very, but like you said, you only invest what you think, like if you lost all of this, it's fine. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You got to know when to. I mean, it's easy to say this. You got to know when to buy. You got to know when to sell. But that's it's all super easy to. It's a lot easier said than done.
That's the hardest part, right? That's the question we all want to know is, all right, when do you buy and when do you sell?
Yeah, yeah. But I think I don't know. To me, investing in crypto is safer than what most people say. I haven't really haven't experienced catastrophic losses, which like when most people they talk about it, it's like, oh, you're gonna lose it all. You're gonna lose it all. But I don't know. Do a little research and don't be dumb and just go on all in at the same time on one coin. You should be fine. I mean, you might lose a little bit. But that's just my experience.
I agree. I think Bitcoin's pretty. It's going to fluctuate, but I think it's not going to zero.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Unless Bitcoin is a complete Ponzi scheme, but I don't I don't really see it. If I think if it were to
It
happen,
can't be. BlackRock's going to release the ETF. It can't be a Ponzi scheme at this point.
yeah,
BlackRock's releasing an ETF. It's
I know.
secure.
I think this next bull run is probably the last big opportunity to make a lot of money off at least Bitcoin.
Hmm.
If anything's going to happen that would bring Bitcoin down to, uh, below 10,000, it'd probably happen after this bull run. Maybe we'll have a little bit dip before the bull run, but I think we're in the bull run now. So
I think we're heading for. I don't see it going down to 10,000 like ever again. I wonder what. I wonder. Yeah,
I think
maybe.
I think the peak is going to be between 100 and 200 this next year. I think so.
Oh, easy, easy. It's definitely going to be. Yeah, I would give it. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. And the trends look like that too. The charts.
Yeah. So if you looked at just the rumor of the ETF coming, it pumped Bitcoin so much and it's staying there off of rumor, which is wild to me.
That's what got it to 35. I mean, you'll go back 3, 4 weeks. 4 weeks. It was at 25, and now it's at 35, just
Yeah,
off of the rumor. It's crazy.
yeah, yeah. It's yeah. I'm excited. I'm watching it. It's exciting times.
Me too, man. I got it on the, like on the profile where you.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
got it right there.
That
Bitcoin, Doge, and VOO. VOO is my pick in the
yeah, that's
stock
good.
market.
That's a good little fun there. Yeah. Um, I think if people are going to invest in stock market, that's definitely the way to go.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's what Warren Buffett recommends. He kind of knows what he's doing.
Yeah, a little bit. It was kind of funny watching Robert Kiyosaki disagree with them. I think
Where
they butt heads
where
on
was
there.
that?
Well, they if you listen to him, he doesn't really agree with Buffett's. His main thing is, I think it's like invest. He doesn't really like investing in the stock market.
Right. Kiyosaki does not like, he's all real estate, gold, and oil. And now he's been wrecking Bitcoin for the last 2 years, I think, right?
Yeah, he's been heavily on Bitcoin. Yeah, it's just fun
Yeah.
listening to him just go against what he's saying. I'm kind of yeah. Stock market's hard. The timing to buy it was certainly during any kind of like crash.
There might be
Definitely
one coming. Do you think so?
stock market crash. I don't know. I can go down a rabbit hole on what I think about the stock market, but
I
I
know
don't.
Kiyosaki's predicting a big But is he just trying to sell his course? You know,
A,
so
a lot of people online, when they talk about financial stuff, they're often selling their courses. They just do it to make a side hustle.
yeah, get
You
some
got to
fear.
line with a grain of salt, form your own. I'm at a point now, like when I listen to these guys, I'm I've already made the move. You know, I watch crypto YouTubers, and they are now just this week. They're like, "Oh, now it's time to buy." Blah, blah, blah. But I've already done it last week. I've
Really
already,
well, yeah.
I already did it, and I bought the same coins that they're talking about. I mean, they've been talking about it for a while, but I already did it. But you just got to do your own research and form your own theories and opinions. The best people who will make it out of these situations are the people who can use their own brain, and they're not followers. They're people who um, find their own way. I mean, that's how Buffett did it, right? You
Yeah.
know, there's not many people to listen to back then. Um, that's how Robert did it, right? He's going against what most people say.
Yeah.
So
That,
right, we'll see how everything turns out. I just I like it in terms of it keeps my mind occupied, it gives me something to look forward to, and I have a little bit of a gambling mind. I don't it's kind of fun, but I'm not a huge gambler. Um, it's kind of funny though. Ever since I got into it, I completely am turned off by any casino game, blackjack game. I feel like I'd rather put that money into there because at least there you have some substance that will
Hmm.
that you could back up your move with your money. Versus the blackjack, I mean, you can count cards and have decent turnout, but a lot of it's just based on the luck of the draw.
yeah. Yeah. I hear you on that. I'm not big into gambling, but I do like crypto. Yeah. And
Yeah,
exactly, like it's gonna go up, it's gonna go down, but you're not necessarily gonna just lose all of it unless it is like a huge gamble. Whereas gambling, it's like, no, you're gonna lose all of
yeah, pretty
it.
much. Yeah, yeah. I mean, anything that you're putting your money in that you aren't in control of is kind of a gamble, to be honest.
Yeah.
Right? But you
Yeah.
own it, it's a gamble, but it's a calculated gamble.
And that's why you only put in stuff that like we said before, that you can totally lose
Yeah, and
and
none,
not have to be worried about it. Yeah.
yeah, and none of what we're saying is financial advice.
Never, never. No medical advice, no financial advice,
Yeah,
strictly opinion.
yeah. So
All right, dude. I gotta call my dad. 7:30. Oh shoot. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, man. Dude, thanks for coming on. This is good to finally connect.
absolutely, man. Yeah, it. I'm glad we did it. Yeah. Are you? So how does this work? Are you gonna clip what we're talking about, or is this like a whole live stream that's on a platform?
This is well, this is completely recorded, so I'll be putting the full version up on YouTube, podcast, and Twitter. And then I got a guy, my dude Esteban. He found me because I through making content, and he'll take a look and see what we can clip from it. What I want to try and do is one of my next, I don't know, just the next step on my mind is I want to make posts, and we'll take like a professional picture from your Instagram, and then we'll do like I did it for the Bloody Tooth Guy episode on the story. I want to actually have a post up there, kind of like how you've seen on Joe Rogan's Instagram. It's like episode 1056, and I want to be able to have one like this is out now, so that because the story post is temporary, right? It's 24 hours and then it disappears, but if you scroll back, then you don't know that you had a podcast with so and so or what. I don't know. I'm just thinking marketing wise. So I think I'm going to do that, and then we'll probably clip up stuff depending on what Esteban can find, and go from there. Yeah,
Yeah, sounds good, man. Yeah, it's a pleasure talking to you.
dude. Likewise. Thanks for coming on.
Oh,
We'll get together soon. I want to dive into crypto. We got to get Pat on here, and we could all like give our picks, our ideas. That'll be fun. That would be a lot of fun.
yeah, absolutely, man.
All right, dude. You have a good night. I hope your wife feels better.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, she's getting better. She's she's like on the, I guess, edge between sick and not sick. So
On the tail end of the, or like
Yeah,
just maybe getting. Okay, good, good,
yeah,
good. That's good to hear.
yeah. Something going around. There's something going around.
There is. I don't want to get it.
Yeah, he'll be fine. I don't know. Could be COVID. I know somebody tested positive for COVID, so it's kind of crazy.
uh,
Still going around.
Probably gonna go around for a while. Yeah, hopefully no more activity like that. Hopefully we could just kind of settle back into the normal routine and go forward with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, dude. Thanks for coming on, brother. We'll talk soon.
Sounds good. All right.
All right.